Morning. It's a gorgeous sunny morning. There you go, there's my office. And I'm in Bristol. Just behind here is a really nice a river, which kind of goes up and down every day. Anyway, today it's just want to talk about, and can you see the sun is totally in my eyes, so I'm just going to squint at you guys. Today I just want to kind of totally talk about seasonality and seasonality in property. He's just looking at me going, what are you doing, woman, talking to a camera? So seasonality in property. So I'm now 10 years in property, and I'm at that kind of, what do? You sow, you sow, you reap, and you harvest. And I'm kind of realising that all of the things that I wanted to achieve, broadly speaking, with the usual cock-ups, have been achieved. And what's fascinating to me, obviously your own thing interests you, is a friend of mine, we sent him a very old book, one of the very first books I ever read. Just for your information, it was Andy Shaw. Now, I believe that things didn't turn out particularly well in the end for Andy Shaw, but he wrote the book that I read first. It wasn't particularly well written, but it was very enthusiastic and full of energy, and it allowed me to kind of enter into the world of thinking, golly, you could buy houses wholesale instead of retail. And so that started me in the whole journey of study. And I studied for a whole year before I did any property at all. I just read book after book after book, and I wrote business plans. And we sent it just kind of for a laugh to a friend of mine the other day. And he went, oh, did you mean to send me this? Because you've got all your notes in the back. And I'm like, oh golly, I hope I didn't write anything embarrassing. And he sent me a photo of my business plan, and it's just the cutest thing in the world. Now, at the time, my business plan was to buy 20 £100,000 houses, which at the time, from where I was at to where I wanted to get to, was like such an enormous journey that I kind of wrote it down with complete disbelief. And now I look at that, and I'm very, very fortunate to have gone way past that. So that was, I think my aspiration was a 2 million portfolio, and I didn't quite believe it was going to happen. I just sort of wrote it out in a peak of confidence, thinking, well, I've written it out, so something's going to happen. And now obviously we've gone well past that. We've got a smashing team, we've got a great office. I work in a very funky, I'll show you, this is the paintwork. It's all terribly funky, it's all very nice. Look, our lovely surroundings. It's a really nice place to work, with a great team, and my portfolio is much stronger than that now, very significantly stronger. And actually I'm on 10 years, and I have ran up that mountain. As Vanish says to me, this is a marathon, not a sprint, and you, girl, are going to be running up that mountain. You're going to get to the top, and you're going to be panting so hard you won't be able to breathe properly. And at times that experience definitely was exactly what was what. I look back and it almost scares me, even though everything's been done now. It scares me, the speed and the kind of risk to a degree, although it was a well-managed risk that I took at the time. I'm kind of more fearful now looking back than at the time when there was just no other option. You just got on with it. So in year 10, it's that beautiful, I'm in gym clothes, I'm about to go lifting, I've got massage later on, I've got all the lovely things that I had wished for when I was working crazy hard, that I had read in books was possible, but because I was sat there in a job just over broke, and I had to turn up at a certain time, I had to be in an office, I exaggerate, but it felt physically imprisoning. I've always been a worker, I always loved making things happen, but I've never seen the reason that I should be in a certain situation at a certain time to be able to deliver things, so it was kind of going against my will, if you like. And now I'm recognising, just very gradually on a daily basis, the financial freedom and the time freedom that property brings, more and more and more. And now it's very much where you have this underpinning, very large asset which pays your bills. Like, we are completely fully let out, we have no rooms empty, we have every single bottom is in every single bed, if you see what I mean, in all our properties, and every single person has paid. Wonderful. And so as long as you maintain it beautifully, then I'm appreciating, and I think that's the right word, the financial freedom and the time freedom that property can bring. So now the only impediment, if you like, to pure 100% time freedom is my own will to create things, to do some of the educational stuff for you guys, and to continue developing and growing and improving and enjoying making my portfolio business really successful. So what happens is you do cycles as a property developer. At the beginning, you're super hungry, and certainly for me, it was all about acquisition, crazy hours, very well planned financial risks, but nonetheless, you know, some pretty substantial financial risks. And I always had, it was like an airport, sorry. I had properties taken off, I had properties on the runway and properties landing at all times. And then you get to a stage where you think, do you know what? I'm really fortunate. I've kind of, it's Carol, I'm digging. I've got enough for this stage, and I'm going to do a tuck under. I'm going to make sure everything's immaculate, all paperwork's perfect, and I've got a few planning possibilities going on with different gardens and major pieces of land. So I'm going to do that for a year before we grow to the next acquisition stage. So you kind of stretch. You grow your comfort zone, you grow your knowledge, you grow your skills, you grow your confidence, you get to a certain point, you breathe, you allow everything to relax, and then you go again. So if you are at any of those stages, maybe you'll recognize them. If you're at the early stage, I just want to encourage you, it's completely possible. Write down your plan. Me, it was 20 properties at 100 grand to make a 2 million portfolio, and now I'm like, oh, that's just cute, because obviously I've gone way past that. Because if you write it down, it's going to be more likely you'll achieve it, and actually appreciate that more can be done in property than you genuinely could even think. Right, I'm going to go. Oh, I like this buggy, look. Can you see him? There you are. He does the maintenance around our place. See you soon. Bye.